All right, hey, what's up, crew? We're gonna take you guys through some exercises that we went through on the range night. Again, these exercises to help you create more awareness and understanding through your body, but help create more consistency in your movement. Again, there's lots of variables on the golf course that are gonna dictate kind of, and we're not gonna have control over, but the more that we can work on these exercises, the more consistency we can create our movement. Hopefully it leads to just better scores and an overall better experience on the golf course as well. So one thing we're gonna start off with first is our pelvic tilting that we talked about. So getting into that golf posture position, can I anterior tilt and posterior tilt without too much shake and bake or kind of losing posture? Again, that analogy of kind of a cylinder where if it's nice and round, a nice, strong, tight cylinder, and I put like a bowling ball on top of it, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna be nice and strong. But as soon as I kind of put a little crinkle in that, a little dent in it, it's most likely gonna collapse. So thinking about this unplugged position, this kind of crack or crinkle in the canister position versus plugged in, nice and stacked. So once we're here, we can feel the core, glutes maybe a little bit. Again, taking that same position, right? Finding that plugged in, nice and neutral spine is gonna be super important for us. So again, practice at home, this anterior tilt, posterior tilt, lean against the golf club or lean against the countertop or something like that, and just take yourself through full ranges of motion. And that's gonna really help you guys get a little bit better of awareness. And again, the more that this can stay plugged in, and then we can use that energy and transfer that energy from the ground through our legs in through this position out to the club, is gonna get us hitting longer shots and just overall feeling better and using the right muscles that we need to on the course. So that's number one, foundation number one, super important. Next, it's super important for us to be able to rotate and separate our upper body from our lower body. So take that golf club, get into your golf posture position. We're thinking about our ribs and pelvis already. From here, can I rotate my upper body without moving my lower body? Again, I'm not worried about how far we rotate, just can we stabilize this lower body and create that separation? Another thing I want you guys to think of as well is, again, that head position. So I'm not letting everything kind of come with. Head is staying right where it is as well, back and forth. One thing I see quite a bit is maybe those elbows stay up here, and we're kind of doing this cradle position. Again, this is creating the illusion of rotation, but my chest isn't moving much. So elbows stay in, pull that shoulder blade behind you. Again, I should maintain that spine angle and not stand up out of it. So that's super important. Our next one is our pelvic rotation. So this is the harder one. So again, staying in position, can I rotate my pelvis, my lower body, without moving my upper body? That's the harder one, okay? So then this is where you can kind of put your golf club on the ground, lean against a squat rack or a countertop, have something grab your shoulders, and can you rotate side to side? We may start to see that we shift and toss our hips out. Again, that's gonna lead to some swaying and sliding through the golf ball, so we want that to be more rotary. Now, we talked about how position matters. So same thing, if I'm in this really extended position and I'm trying to rotate that pelvis, it doesn't look super smooth. For me, it feels really uncomfortable, but as soon as I tuck my pelvis and find a better position, hopefully you can see on the screen there that it's a lot more rotary. It's gonna clean things up a little bit. Again, the whole purpose of this is create a more efficient movement and swing so you guys can hit the ball better and play better. So those are our two, again, torso rotation, pelvic rotation. Really practice those, create a lot of awareness. Another drill you can kind of add in there is a stork turn, like this, to really feel that pelvis rotate. Is another really great one to kind of work on, and that's stuff you guys can do while you're on the range, golf course, or just at home to kind of just reinforce those movement patterns are super important. All right, so after going through the separation of the upper and lower body, we do need ourselves just to be an athlete and be able to properly move through using kind of everything all together. So what I want us to focus on now is get into position. Again, one of the drills that our coaches gave us was to rotate into our backswing and get that bottom end of the club here facing right down over top of that foot. Again, I don't want to be doing this, right? I don't want my head coming out. So my head staying here, it can shift a little bit to the side, but then really get that focus on letting this hip open up and then getting this club down. Again, having this club across our body allows us to use our T-spine versus getting too armsy with it. And then same thing, can I get the other side of the club focused on this way? So this is a great drill you can kind of play around with just rotating back and forth. Your head can move side to side, just not too much up and down, and get that butt end of the club to the foot, butt end of the club to the foot, back and forth. And you'll start to feel those hips move really well. If you feel like you're kind of standing up and down, what you can do is go to a wall, keep your butt cheeks on the wall. So as I rotate this way, my right butt cheek should be here. And then as I transfer through, my left butt cheek should be touching the wall. So that's another great way to kind of give you some feels. Now, as far as finishing our golf swing, get into here, really good load. And then we want to be able to rotate through and then eventually get all the way through. And I'm a little tight through my T-spine, but get this butt end of the club facing down the target line or the fairway. So again, here, boom, come through. And that'll really allow you to really feel yourself finish, because if this foot stays on the ground, you're never gonna be able to do that. And that's just gonna look like this, and you're just getting too armsy versus really using the entire body for the move. So give that a go, you guys. Really feel yourself getting those turns in those positions. So this should give you some checkpoints and benchmarks to get to, and then focus on a really nice big turn through, and eventually you'll be able to come up and then finish that position. Again, getting to that position where I should be able to lift that back foot and kind of post up on that lead leg is gonna be really important. Give it a go. One of the other ones we took you guys through is that single leg balance test. So this is where we see a lot of people have that issue with balance. Again, what's gonna go further, shooting a cannon out of a canoe or a cannon that's fastened in concrete, right? And we gotta think of that lower body, that stable base that we can load and explode from. So that's where we went through those adductor lunges. So this is where we would take one of our bands, we'd wrap it around, again, if you don't have a squat rack or anything like that at home, just around a door frame or have someone hold it. I'm gonna put my one leg in there. I always want it so it's just above the kneecap, not too high and not too low. From here, I'm gonna get just enough tension on it that it's gonna try to pull me over. So this is where we talked about that tripod foot, right? So big toes anchored in the ground, then the little toe, and then just find a little bit of heel so you're kind of in your center of mass. And then I want you guys just to hold that for a few seconds. Really allow yourself to feel that band try to pull you so your feet are working hard, but then think about really straightening that leg and posting up. Once you have your balance, you guys are gonna go into a lunge. So I'm gonna take a step back. Again, as soon as I start to kind of come out of this position, it's gonna pull me. So this is where I really gotta anchor in. I'm gonna drop down, back up, 1, 2. Again, really challenge it, really post up, take my time with it. That's gonna be a huge one to just really focus on creating that stability I need to that hip, especially that lead hip for us as golfers. As I come through, I wanna really post up on it and be able to stabilize versus slide through or roll out. Again, you'll notice that when we start to add speed in our golf swing, a lot of people will start to lose position, lose some balance. This exercise is gonna be amazing for you guys to be able to really feel that stability through that lead leg. Again, make sure you guys are doing both sides. The next move I'm gonna take you guys through, we didn't do this on the range, but this is gonna be another great move just to really reinforce and feel the different muscles you need to have to make sure that you're staying in position. Because what we see a lot of times with golfers, no matter their ability, is we'll see some loss of posture, especially when they try to add more speed, so they start to stand up. Where we want to be able to maintain these angles as we come through. So this drill I call is just a single leg torso rotation. So I'm going to take 3 steps. If this was a wall, 3 steps off, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to bring that back leg up on the wall. From here, I'm going to really anchor in, tuck my pelvis, cross my arms, and then I'm going to rotate over my knee. Take a big inhale. Every time I exhale, I'm gonna try and rotate more and more. You're gonna notice that's gonna try to rotate that knee out just like we worked on those adductor lunges. I'm gonna really challenge it. You're gonna feel this hip a ton, and then I'm gonna come out of it and give you 10 reps. Eventually trying to add as much speed as I can. Because again, like I said, once we start to add speed, usually in our golf swing, you start to lose things and break things down. I'll then do both sides. That's a great one for you guys to really feel this hip working, where you need to be in that position when you come through, right? So you're not standing up out of it, or you're not just throwing your hands at the ball, okay? So those are our moves that I want you guys to really kind of think about. Again, really practicing the pelvic tilts. The torso rotation, again, being able to create that separation is going to be super important. And then working on some balance through that lead leg, this entire body with those single leg torso rotations will just give you guys more awareness. It's a great way to start. If you guys are interested in taking that to the next level, we can take care of you here at the gym, so just let me know. But until then, let's continue to make progress, hit some bombs, and attack some pins.